Hey, what's up, Moongoons? Welcome to this little bonus episode of the Horrible Horror Podcast. Normally, this is the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary, as we say. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me is, he's back, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Or I should say, for RuPaul's Drag Race, hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
You don't watch that show, do you?
No, I haven't.
My wife and I watch the shit out of RuPaul's
I know, you've said that before on here.
I know.
It's one I've never gotten around to. I got so much other shit in my queues. And
unless you're gay or have a wife who loves gay culture, you're probably not going to watch too much of it. But I got to say, it hooks you. Much like this podcast hooks you.
Oh, nice segue.
It just hooks you in. And you know what? We have actually the nice hook segue into we've watched all these movies for a whole year. So it's our year of the most horrible tournament of awfulness, worst the worst.
I thought I was bad doing this.
Marshall, take it away.
As he's trying to get to, we've actually just got done recording our Crips episode. Aaron's the six-pack into this. And
I am.
This is going to be our Bracketology episode, where we take every movie from quote-unquote our last, well, like I said, quote-unquote season, if you will, and we put them all together and we make them fight it out like March Madness style, and we will crown a worst of the worst for the 2018-2019 season. Should say, you guys will crown the worst of the worst because it's all up to the listener votes.
But what was I trying to say?
You were trying to say it is time for this year's Horrible Horror March Movie Madness Tournament of Awfulness.
You close your eyes.
I had to close my eyes and concentrate.
And you're making fun of me. Yes, I have been drinking some beers. And yes, I just couldn't get it out.
You're right. Normally I can't either, but yeah,
Marshall
I
had to
close my eyes and
he had to close his eyes and concentrate. And
this is like the fifth year time we've done this or something like that. I still can't get it out.
Yeah, this is because we've had
4 winners.
So this is the 5th year.
So this would have to be the 5th.
So this is the 5th. This is
Hey, we haven't been doing it for 5 years somehow, but we yet somehow still have, because each year kind of coordinates, it kind of comes up 2 years. We have like 2017, 18, 18, 19.
Who were our winners before?
The very first winner was Alice in Murderland.
Okay.
That was followed by I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, I believe. And then we had Terror Back to You. And last year's was Lake Fear 2.
Lake Fear 2. So this is our fifth
tournament.
Fifth tournament. Jesus Christ.
And it's fun. I always kind of enjoy this. It's always fun to kind of process of elimination, finding out which one everybody thinks is the worst of the worst.
I like it too because I do like putting it out to the Moongoons.
Yeah.
And seeing, and the last 2 years, I would say the last 2 years, we've seen a flurry of activity.
Yeah, it's really, the voting's really been going up more.
Yeah, and you can catch us on Instagram. So that's where I'll be posting, the
all voting is done on Instagram, basically.
All voting's done on Instagram. Sorry, Facebook followers. Facebook followers, if you're listening, follow us on Instagram so we can participate in this voting.
And our 3 Twitter followers get on Instagram.
I think it's like 50.
Yeah, we might have 50. Yeah. I don't know.
We're shit at Twitter.
We are shit at Twitter. Normally it just updates on when the episodes are coming up. And even lately, then I forget to post on Twitter a lot of times.
It seems like Twitter's either for like customer service or political bitching
or celebrities.
Yeah, it's like that's the only thing Twitter's for. Like for a podcast, it seems like Instagram is a great venue. Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, so follow us on Instagram. You vote once per matchup. Yeah. Basically what we're gonna do is we basically wrote down every movie we did this quote-unquote season, put them into a hat, and we're going to basically draw random movies out of a hat, and we're going to put them into our 2 brackets. We have the Haddonfield side, and then we have the Crystal Lake side, and we'll batch them up, and then after we get the brackets made, Aaron and I will do a little discussion, and we'll kind of fill out our bracket, how we kind of think.
Kind of break it down like we did last year.
Yeah, last year's.
Go into our archive. You can listen to our archives at iTunes, at Podbean, at Google Play, a whole lot of places. Honestly, you can listen to us pretty much anywhere. I used to break down exactly where you can listen to us, but honestly, you can listen to us anywhere. But I do want you guys to go to horriblehorrorpodcast.com, where it's our actual website. We actually have a sale right now on our t-shirts, on our merch. You can get our t-shirts right now for $14.99. It's a steal. It's a deal. It's the fucking deal of the century. So take it. It's limited run. Once these guys are gone, they're fucking gone. So enjoy.
We'll make the brackets, and then Aaron and I will go through it. We'll each make our own, do it. And we'll kind of, then we hold on to ours, and we'll see how well we can guess the outcome. which we always get thrown off every year. There's always one or two that just throws a complete monkey wrench or anything because, like I said, we leave it up to the voters, and that's where things get tricky.
It does.
Sometimes is because we do some really independent movies and some movies that people haven't seen, so that a lot of times it's hard to vote on them. But highly encourage you guys to watch these if you haven't seen them, or at least listen to the episodes and make up your own decision. And we've also
watch the movies.
Yeah,
honestly, especially the indies. Guys, support indie horror. Watch the indie movies. Like, really, I'm sure you may have heard of certain movies. Like, I know that movie is crap. But some of these indie movies that you may not have heard of before, please watch them. Even if we do say
suck, don't watch them. You ain't watch them.
Please watch them, rent them, watch them for yourself. Because even though we do kind of sometimes come down on some movies, please support indie horror.
Of course, support indie horror. And we, you know what, I think what we're gonna do, if we can figure out, we'd like to do they do with college March Madness, like the $1 million bracket. Like if you pick if you have a perfect bracket and you match it up and you will win some kind of prize. So I'm thinking, if you guys listen to this episode, fill out the brackets for yourself, and then email us your bracket at sobaditsscary@gmail.com. Email it there.
Ooh.
At sobaditsscary. That's 2 S's. It's and scary, 2 S's. sobaditsscary@gmail.com. Email it there, and then I can get it. And then if you guys have a perfect bracket, or at least a person who gets the closest to a perfect bracket, we'll give you a prize.
So hold on, Marshall. If the listeners out there, listen to this episode.
Yes.
Fill out a bracket.
Fill it out.
And say they picked the correct one, and they email it to
sobaditsscary@gmail.com.
They can win something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll come with some kind of prize. Maybe a shirt, maybe one of the movies we've done in the podcast. We'll send you one of the movies or something.
I like a shirt, and you know what? Maybe some beer koozies.
And some beer koozies. Yeah, shirt and beer koozies.
Shirt and beer koozies.
So I think that's, if you guys want to do that,
so to our Moongoon listeners, fill out a bracket that you can find at, fuck it, you make your own.
You have to make your own. You're going to have to make your own. I tried going online if I could find bracket makers, but I couldn't find anything that really worked easily for what we did that was easy. And
I know, because you literally gave me a blank piece of paper just now.
Yeah.
And fill this out.
Well, I forgot, if we're going to each do our own, we can't, because we tried last year, but we already had different picks at certain times, so it got really convoluted which one who picked what.
So let's get into it.
All right,
baby.
Let's get into it. So, in our first matchup on Haddonfield side, Aaron's picking. Pick a name out.
To new Moongoons out there. So
okay.
we usually have two. We have two conferences.
We
leagues.
started it last year. We started two sides last year.
Two sides, and what are those two sides?
We have the Haddonfield side and then the Crystal Lake side.
Crystal Lake and Haddonfield.
Yes.
I do love that.
I think last year I had reverse. I think it was Crystal Lake and then Haddonfield, but this year, whatever.
It doesn't matter. It's a brilliant name.
Yeah.
So hear me shaking.
So this is first matchup in round one on Haddonfield side. Oh, I'm going to pick. Aaron's going to let me pick the first name, and I pick. What's the first one going to be? Ooh, House of Horrors, Gates of Hell is kicking it off
against Flesh-Eating Mothers.
Oh, Flesh-Eating Mamas. All right. Just going to try to write fast while we do this. House of Horrors. All right.
Flesh-Eating Mothers. That's a pretty good.
That's an interesting opening round.
It is an interesting opening round.
All right. Next matchup, we're going to have. Oh, I'm hitting the mic.
I like Marshall picking one, too, also.
All right. I got mine. What did I get? The 1987. That's the key. 1987 Stage Fright.
Ooh, you do have to differentiate between.
Because we did a Stage Fright in the past.
Yeah.
We did one last year, but that was a 2000 version. This is the 1987 version.
And you were going up against that movie. Is going up against the 13th Friday.
Oh, 13th Friday. Not Friday 13th, guys. The 13th Friday.
The 13th Friday.
It's a big difference.
This is one of my sleepers.
Yeah, we'll talk about sleepers. We'll get that after we fill out the bracket, but that's a good one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
All right, next round or next matchup. We're gonna have Final Exam, the 1981 version.
Yeah,
I think there's a Japanese version of
1981.
And who'd you pull out, Aaron?
Night of the Living Dead 3D.
Oh, the Sid Haig. Okay, Night of the Living Dead 3D.
Night of the Living Dead 3D.
Night of the Living Dead 3D. Abbreviating that fucker.
Yeah, that's a long one to write.
Try, especially in a small little bracket, because I try to save space. All right, next. We're going to have... Oh, this is my pick. This is pretty much my pick to win it this year. We have Death House.
Wow.
Death House coming in. All right. In the what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 7th seed.
Going against the Clown at Midnight.
Oh, the Clown at Midnight. Clown at Midnight. Okay.
If you hear this jostling in the background,
that's the names in the hat.
That's the names that have constantly being shuffled. Because we do not want to try and pick any favorites.
No, we're not picking favorites.
Yeah, it's completely random.
Next, next is Hell Week.
Hell Week is going to be going against Avalanche Sharks.
Oh, Avalanche Sharks!
So you think Death House is going to be one of your favorites?
That's. I was going to get to it later, but yeah, Death House is my pick to win the whole thing this year.
Okay, well, you ready for the next one?
I am ready for the next one. All right, next one is See No Evil. The Kane.
The Kane, yeah, pro wrestler Kane.
That was our WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
And spoiler, WrestleMania is coming up in another month or two, and we'll be doing See No Evil 2 for our WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, okay.
So spoiler there.
Look out there.
It's getting real. We're running out of wrestling themed horror movies. We're pretty much at the end of the boat on this one.
Well, I think there might be a professional wrestler in this one. Minutes to Midnight.
Oh, there was a professional wrestler in that one.
Yes, there was. So we have a wrestling hoedown.
We do have wrestler versus wrestler.
Wrestler versus wrestler.
We have Kane going up against
Johnny Nitro.
Yeah. Johnny Mundo, Johnny Morrison.
Wrestler versus wrestler.
I like that.
Yeah.
Midnight. I can write here. I can write and talk at the same time. All right.
Marshall's grabbing another one.
All right. Next we have Satan's Little Helper.
Oh yeah, dude, that was a weird one.
That was a weird one.
That's a weird one. The kid looks like an offspring between me and you.
Yeah, and but it had that super hot chick from Vikings in it.
Oh yeah,
like so hot.
The chick from Vikings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but the kid.
Oh, the kid is yeah. I
hate to say it, but it really looks like if you and I had a baby, it looked like that.
Yeah, not pretty, not for us.
Not sexy.
Nope.
First Killer Workout.
Killer Workout. Oh, that was
Killer Workout.
Gotta work out. Gotta work out. Animal workout.
I love that movie.
God, the music in that movie is so good. I want that soundtrack so bad.
Oh, it's so good. All right.
Oh, Sarah Samuels, if you listen to this, shout out to you for that episode.
That was a great episode.
All right. Next we have we're getting a little homoerotic here. We're getting our
Aren't we always homoerotic?
Yeah, we kind of really are. We have Kissing Darkness.
Okay, that is super homoerotic.
Please tell me it's going up against the Black Room. Kissing Darkness versus the Black Room is a showdown I want to see.
It is not. You're going to feature another big, strong, bulging man. Not really. 976 Evil 2.
There's no big, strong, bulging man. We're going to feature some scrawny people with giant mullets, though. Some great feathered hair in that movie.
I was actually thinking of. I just couldn't take my mind off of Kane.
Oh, you're See No Evil.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So that closes out the Haddonfield bracket.
Yeah.
That's it. So now we're gonna move on to the Crystal Lake side.
So yeah. Okay. So we have one side already filled out.
One side filled out.
So for those guys listening at home, this is the side. We're done. We're moving on to the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Okay. So. You ready?
Yeah, I was trying to decide if we want to do a recap real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. So Haddonfield bracket. So if you haven't written it down already, write it down now. First matchup: Houses of Horrors, Gates of Hell, taking on Flesh Eating Mothers. Next match: Stage Fright 1987 versus The 13th Friday, followed by Final Exam from 1981, taking on Night of the Living Dead 3D. Then moving on, we have Death House taking on The Clown at Midnight, followed by Hell Week versus Avalanche Sharks. See No Evil takes on Minutes to Midnight. Then we have Satan's Little Helper taking on Killer Workout. And we close it out with Kissing Darkness versus 976 Evil 2. And that is the Haddonfield side. So moving on to Crystal Lake.
Here we go.
All right. Kicking off Crystal Lake, we're going to have American Fright Fest. That was one you missed out on. Chris Sample set in for you on that. That was a fun one.
Thank God. Pledges.
Ooh, Pledges. That movie was a fucking piece of work.
It was.
I'll never remember just the giant explosion of blood coming out of like the lean-to. And then the weird alien monster demon thing that we know. All right, moving on. Speaking of demon, next is terrible movie, but I loved watching it and loved talking about it so much. We have Night of the Demon, the Bigfoot movie.
You love that movie.
It was so bad, but in such a good way. Not to me if you was Night of the Demons, the Leona Quigley, then in the remake. This is Night of the Demon. It's a Bigfoot movie. Holy shit, is it crazy?
Jesus Christ. Stabbed in the face.
Stabbed in the face!
That's a tough one. That's a tough one for me, personally.
Yeah, you kind of partial to stabbed in the face for some reason.
I
I don't know why, but
it's something about the poops on you.
The poops on me song.
I love that punk rock attitude. Those it's an indie movie, totally punk rock attitude. I liked it.
Yeah. Poops on you. All right. All right. Next up, we got. Oh, the recent one. We have Lasso, the Killer Rodeo Cowboys. Roided up on horse steroids.
Versus deadpan acting in Breeders.
Oh, the Breeders, the 1980s something Breeders.
Not the Breeders, just Breeders.
Breeders. That's the one with the sex cauldron.
Okay, because the Breeders is an awesome band. It's an awesome band.
But there's also came out. This is not the 90s remake of Breeders. They did a 90s remake called Breeders too. This is the 80s version. Correct. So make sure you gotta get those. It is the
80s version of Breeders, not the Breeders. Not the awesome Kim Deal offshoot of the Pixies. Anyway.
All right, moving on. Next we have Blood Freak. Oh, I hope it's not taking on Blood Beat. That'd be confusing.
It would be very confusing, but unfortunately,
Blood Freak.
You don't have to worry about it because we're taking on Dark Walker.
Dark Walker. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting matchup.
That is.
Because they're both terrible, but Blood Freak was, I think, somewhat fun and such a... Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
All right. Next. Oh, Blood Beat.
Blood Beat is going to be taking on, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Leprechaun 2.
Leprechaun 2, Leppy.
Hey, St. Patrick's is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm already working on which Leprechaun movie we're going to be doing. I'm going through a lot of them.
Marshall's picking.
All right. Next is The Mutilator.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a fun one.
I enjoyed that one.
That's some awesome kills. Some of the best kills.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
It's taking on a movie with also very memorable kills in Iced.
Iced!
I didn't say they were good.
No.
Just said they were memorable.
All right. I think I know what's going on there. And let's see. Next we have, Mercy Christmas.
Mercy Christmas taking on Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day. So
that was the solo episode.
That was the one and only solo episode I had to do.
That was when the weather in here, like St. Louis weather was off the charts, like 2 weekends in a row, it was all ice. And Marshall basically took it upon himself to do an episode.
Well, I couldn't wait any longer. I was like, it's been like, if I wait any longer, it's been like almost way too long to get an episode out. So, I just said, fuck it, let's try this solo. And I don't know if anybody's ever listened to that episode. If you did, thank you very much for listening to that or sitting through it, because I think it probably sucked.
I did. I listened to it.
All right, next. You said you listened to half of it. You turned it off.
I did listen to half of it because I couldn't listen to all of it.
You were supposed to be my biggest supporter here. You're like, nope, I can't even do it. Turn it off. All right, so next up, closing on Crystal Lake, we have 420 Massacre with
Black Room.
The Black Room.
The Black Room.
All right. So there we go. Crystal Lake is done. Let's go do a quick recap before then we'll start making our picks. So leading off Crystal Lake, we have American Fright Fest taking on Pledges. Then it's Night of the Demon versus Stabbed in the Face. And we have Lasso taking on Breeders from the 80s. Then we have Blood Freak taking on Dark Walker, or The Dark Walker, depending on where you find it. And it's also one word or two words. It's confusing. Then we have Blood Beat taking on Leprechaun 2. The Mutilator takes on Iced. And Mercy Christmas versus Happy Death Day, which is a sequel that like just came out. They made, which I'm actually interested in seeing now after doing the first one. And then lastly, closing out is 420 Massacre versus The Black Room. So that is it. Our brackets are completed. It's time to write a rumble, man. But let's make our picks here. Let's start. Let's go back to the beginning. Who do you have between Flesh Eating Moms and House of Horrors Gates of Hell?
House of Horrors Gates of Hell. Refresh my memory on that one.
God, that was the one haunted house in New York. But
yeah, that was the one where it was a house. It was a haunted house, an actual haunted house that basically made a movie advertising their haunted house.
Yeah, and had the giant Jack guy who only wore tiny t-shirts like the girl and ghosts, weird shit.
And there was a grenade up the vagina and there's a death.
Yep.
Yes.
That's that one.
Against
Flesh Eating Mothers.
Basically, the way I'm approaching this is which one would I rather watch? I'd rather watch Flesh Eating Mothers. So I'm going to say House of Horrors goes on.
All right, well then write down your pick on that. So man, I'm torn on this one because they were both terrible. They're both terrible, and I vaguely remember
it's a really tough one.
It is like Flesh Eating Mothers. I vaguely remember. I don't know if I remember enough about it to accurately judge. But I know the acting in that was absolutely horrible.
Chris Samples and myself did.
I sat in on it.
You sat in, but you took a back seat because I listened to it not too long ago, and you were sick.
I was really sick or something.
So you chimed in every blue moon every once in a while. But basically, it was a Chris and I show.
Yes, and I'm trying to remember. I know the acting was absolutely horrible in that.
They talked like this the whole time.
I'm trying to remember, is that one where people
style.
even actually died in that movie at all? I don't remember.
They did.
But
they did.
I think I'm gonna go. You know what? At least that was kind of an original idea. It was kind of original and fun. I'm gonna say. I'm going to pick House of Horrors to move on as well.
So you and I are both agreed.
Yeah.
House of Horrors. Okay.
House of Horrors is our pick to move on. Next, Stage Fright 1987 versus The 13th Friday. Stage Fright. I don't know if I told you like that was one you weren't on, but I tried to tell you to at least watch these movies for this occasion. So
I watched Stage Fright 1987 and that weird owl.
Yes, the owl killer.
And the dude, fun movie.
Yeah.
Guess what was not fun? 13th Friday. 13 all the way.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. 13th Friday is also my pick to move on as well. Stage Fright was at least fun. It was silly. Not silly, but it was kind of dumb, but
it was cool. In a good way. I kind of liked it, honestly.
Next, we have Final Exam from 1981 taking on Night of the Living Dead 3D. Interesting here. So this is an older... Yeah, I want to say old versus new because the last one was old versus new too. But
Night Living Dead 3D, because Night Living Dead was a public domain movie, anyone can remake Night Living Dead all day long. In my opinion, they kind of took a spin on it and they kept it as true as they could. Hey, I know you're looking at me funny. I think they did a decent job paying homage to it.
Get the fuck out of here.
So I'm going to say Final Exam goes on.
Oh,
I liked it.
You are sick man. The remake of Night of the Living Dead with
Tony
Todd. That's how you remake a movie. That's an awesome remake. That's
awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
This garbage heap, in my opinion, was a joke and it spit on Night of the Living Dead, in my opinion.
But was it better than Final Exam?
I don't know. Final Exam,
that is the weird college like.
That is the one that had the school shooting prank.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then Wildman, who got killed by a piece of work at equipment.
He got the full Chris Benoit.
He did. I can't. Fuck! I don't know. Night of the Living Dead at least has titties in it.
It does.
It does have titties, but it's so bad. Everything about it is. I don't want to say, it's got Sid Haig in it because I'm not that big of a Sid Haig fan anyway. But I'm trying to say, is it more enjoyable to watch than Final Exam? Final Exam was a cookie cutter horror movie that they try to, capsize on that big explosion of horror movies that came out at the time. But I'm saying Night of the Living Dead moves on.
Wow.
I 3D was bad in its own way, but it was, I don't know. I can't excuse what Night of the Living Dead did to that. It was just an awful movie. And we're not even talking about, we didn't include the bonus episode movies we did this year because they weren't actual episodes, but the Reanimation one, which is kind of a remake of the spin-off or spin-off of the remake. That was a weird-ass garbage thing.
Anyway, let's go on to the next one.
Move on. So next we have Death House versus The Clown at Midnight. I'm taking it right now. My pick is Death House. 100%. Death House moving on in my book.
I have to agree. Death House moves on.
Sorry, Kevin Caliber, if you hear this, but luckily you had nothing to do with making that movie bad. You got a paycheck and
you were still a beautiful specimen.
Beautiful Greek god of a man in that movie. So
favorite part of the movie is watching your naked body.
Your naked body.
No homo.
We're just talking about how homoerotic we are all the time, but yeah, no homo, man, no homo. But damn. All right, so next matchup we have Hell Week versus Avalanche Sharks. This is all right, Aaron. What do you got here?
Hell Week, Avalanche Shark. Hell Week was I'm having trouble between Pledges and Hell
Pledges was the one that took place out in the woods.
Hell Week. Okay, Hell Week was the one
where the warehouse with
out in Cleveland.
We had like 6 different.
It was like Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, and like 6 different villains and like the weird family and.
I'm gonna say Avalanche moves on.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason is because Hell Week at least tried to make it a horror movie. They were obviously a local team, local people doing indie movies. Avalanche Shark is just trying, in my opinion, it was a sci-fi type movie.
Yeah.
Trying to cash in on the same thing as, Sharknado and all that other crap. And it had nothing but computer graphics and, C-level actors and actresses.
They're both terrible. Of course, they're both terrible if they're on our show, but I think I'm going to pick Hell Week to move on. To me, I'd rather watch Avalanche. As bad as Avalanche Sharks is, I'd rather watch that again than Hell Week. Hell Week was just literally hell for me to get through. One, it was like an hour and 40 minutes. It was long. It made no sense. The best part of that movie was the fucking vampire girl in lingerie on a skateboard. Which just to hear me say that out loud is like,
sounds
what?
Awesome.
Yeah, but also makes no sense. but
they didn't have enough skates.
Yeah, skates was her name. Yeah.
They didn't have enough of her.
Now, my problem with Hell Week is I think it's going to fall victim to the same thing with like a lot of these, like not enough people are going to have seen it. So Avalanche Sharks will probably be the one to move on, but my personal pick is Hell Week to move on.
I like Hell Week better.
Next is See No Evil versus Minutes to Midnight. Now, this is interesting.
This is
interesting because both of these we actually said are so bad they're good. Yeah. So let's say.
So who is against See No
Evil versus Minutes to Midnight. Now, in the past, guys, we've had more movies, and we've actually had to leave some off the list because we left the good ones off. But this year, we were kind of we
just made it.
We just made the 32 because we had a lot of weeks where we missed episode weeks this year. So no, these in past may not have been in the tournament, but there's a few others that probably shouldn't be in the tournament either. But we didn't have a choice on. So yeah, what's your pick, man?
So, again, I'm kind of going off of which one would I rather see again.
Yeah.
And See No Evil is starring Kane, the pro wrestler, going crazy, killing people left and right. Minutes of Midnight features another pro wrestler going on an adventure, trying to find his brother.
Only this guy, the pro wrestler, is the good guy.
Yeah.
And it's got the lesser Baldwin and Richard Grieco and
honestly,
Bill Moseley phoning it in.
As ridiculous as it was, I'm going to say Minutes of Midnight. I'd rather see Minutes of Midnight, so See No Evil is going on.
Really?
Yes! I would watch Minute of Midnight any day compared to See No Evil.
Wow, I'm stunned. To me, that's the first like upset, really. To me, I can kind of see why. Because Minutes of Midnight, to me, there were points of like it was so. The fight scenes in that movie were awesome.
There were some great. Never bored. I was never bored. Like everything, even like because the fluff scenes between starred Richard Grieco and Billy Baldwin, whereas the fluff scenes between See No Evil, like between Kane killing people and Kane killing people, were no-name actors and no-name actresses. Just
I had the girl from Jessica Jones, Trish Walker.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
What, the blonde?
The blonde girl. Yeah.
Oh, she was.
Oh, before she would get obviously before Netflix.
So yeah, I mean it was. Yeah, I enjoyed Minutes of Midnight more.
Yeah, and they had the villains that looked like ripoffs from like a Batman villain mixed with Mortal Kombat rejects. And they had some good kills. That the weapons, that bone mace thing with
that cool flail.
The flail. That thing was awesome. But at the same time, Kane had some great kills. Like he was just commanding presence in that movie. Like, he was so, and the kills are pretty good. This is a great one. This is a really tough matchup. Which one would I like to watch again? Man, I think I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say See No Evil is slightly better than Minutes of Midnight, so I'm going to say Minutes of Midnight, in my opinion, moves on. But just barely. Like, that's a tough one. I'd say that's a tough one. I'm going to say, but Minutes of Midnight is my pick to move on. Moving on, we have Satan's Little Helper versus Killer Workout. To me, Satan's Little Helper by far moves on. Killer Workout was awful, a bad movie, but bad in a fun way, and the soundtrack is awesome.
I'm going to have to agree with you, even though I like Satan's Little Helper a lot.
Really?
I do like that movie, but Killer Workout is so awesome. I'm going to say Satan's Little Helper moves on.
All right, Satan's Little Helper.
Killer Workout has a great soundtrack, original soundtrack, so crazy.
And it's so 80s. It's so 80s. And like basically it's like 40% of the movie is just women in Hispanics doing aerobics, like humping the floor, and they got musclehead roid guys trying to do kung fu in parking lots. It's awesome. Insane. So all right, and then we have Kissing Darkness versus 976 Evil 2. This is interesting because I've said at the time 976 Evil 2 was garbage, but I will say I've had a kind of a change of heart on it since we did that episode.
Kissing Darkness is moving on.
Kissing Darkness, in my opinion, too, moving on as well. Again, not gay bashing, just that movie is fucking awful.
It is so gay.
It is super gay.
Gayest I've ever seen in my life.
It's basically like one thread away from being straight gay porn at some point.
How much dick rubbing can you do?
All right. Do you want to keep going with the Hanfield side and narrow it down, or do you want to go back and forth?
Let's go back and forth.
Okay. So then going over to Crystal Lake, we have American Fright Fest versus Pledges.
Okay, American Fright Fest, I watched. Actually, it wasn't bad. I'm going to go with Pledges.
I'm going to agree with you, too. I'm going Pledges as well. American Fright Fest was, it's not great, but I will say it was more fun. It was just like, there was so much, it was very...
It made sense compared to Pledges?
Yeah, it did.
Pledges was awful.
It was awful. It was horrible.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Night of the Demon takes on Stabbed in the Face. This is a tough one for, I think.
I kind of know where you're going, and I think I'm going to go the opposite way. Night of the Demon, I think, is a classic amongst all horror fans. I think we even said this before. People who are into horror movies have heard of this movie and know it's one of the worst horror movies ever made.
It's infamous for being one of the worst horror movies ever.
So I'm saying Night of the Demon goes on.
Yeah.
Because Stabbed in the Face is an indie horror movie.
No, I hate to say it too, but my thing is I have to pick Night of the Demon as well. Only because even though that movie is horribly made, but I enjoyed it so much because I couldn't stop laughing at this absurdity of the kills. I mean, Bigfoot rips off like a dude's dick and waves him over his head, and then that final scene in the camera where he just kills everybody is awesome.
In slow motion.
In slow motion. It's like 5 minutes of slow motion kills. But the problem with Stabbed in the Face is I hated that movie. It's awful. Problem is, I remember the only way we could watch is I had to buy physical copies off the internet, which means it's going to be, I don't think any of our listeners are actually seen the movie, so I don't know how they're going to vote on that.
To be perfectly honest, I've watched it again, and at the end of the day, yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's not great. But I enjoy the effort. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel Night of the Demon, man, that's just bad.
But no, I'm agreeing with you. Night of the Demon moves on. All right, next up we have Lasso versus the 1980s Breeders. This is another easy pick for me too. Breeders hands down.
I'd say Breeders. Lasso was awesome.
Lasso's was actually surprisingly fun and awesome. That's one I actually recommend you guys watch. It's a fun one.
No, I saw it.
One.
It was awesome. It was really good.
Next we have Blood Freak taking on Dark Walker. Now, Blood Freak is the one about basically it's a Bible PSA about drug dealers and
it's a weird
turkey killers.
It's a weird Thanksgiving-esque
PSA
Thanksgiving
episode
about not doing drugs or else you're going to turn into a turkey monster
who kills people,
craves the blood of drug users.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's a weird piece of cinema history, but you need to watch it. It needs to be experienced. You need to watch it though.
Dark Walkers is a weird PSA against people who are building on
haunted houses building on
ancient land, and
it wasn't. Yeah, but
they're almost cut from the same thread in a way.
Sort of. I don't know.
They follow a similar thread.
I don't know. This is gonna be real interesting because there's different reasons why I won't say each is bad. Like, Blood Freak is poorly made. It's poorly made. It's just technically speaking, it's the worst movie of the two. The acting's bad. The writing's bad. The
special effects are bad.
Special effects are bad. Everything's bad. But when you watch as a whole, and it's like holy shit!
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's like you have to watch it. Dark Walker technically is superior to it, but the movie sucks. Like, it was just boring and bland. It's like I didn't care. It's like, so my pick. But the problem is, do I want to watch Blood Freak again? Because I don't know. Watch it once and you can't let it into you, and that's all you need. I don't know if I need to watch that movie a second time.
It did have sweet 70s titties.
Oh yeah, Bangs Bob Long.
Yes,
Bangs Bob Long.
Yes.
It created a hairstyle.
That girl had that awesome hairstyle.
Yeah,
she had bangs, she had a bob and long
hair. Bangs Bob Long.
I forgot about that.
So I don't know, man. What's your pick on this?
I liked Blood Freak better, but if you're gonna put a gun to my head, which one? Dude, fuck you! I'm gonna watch Blood Freak again. Dark Walkers moves on.
God damn.
I'm saying Dark Walker.
Yeah, I'm.
This is my bracket.
Yeah, that's your bracket. I know my bracket. I can't make decisions. I'm really bad at decisions right now. Dark Walker is probably. You know what? Fuck. I'm gonna say Dark Walker 2. I'm making it also. I'm going there because again, Dark Walker has been a dime a dozen. It's people at a haunted house getting killed. There's no stuff. Blood Freak is its own crazy, unique, one of a kind, weird experience.
Yeah,
and that is I'm giving it the edge to that for that reason.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have Blood Beat against Leprechaun 2. Now, Blood Beat is also insanely crazy and needs to be watched. That's the one about the killer samurai ghost in rural Wisconsin. That makes zero fucking sense. But at the same time, it's some of the worst special effects ever seen, but it's also insane to the point where you have to watch it.
So amazing.
So amazing.
So amazing.
So amazing. Against fucking Leprechaun 2.
Leprechaun 2 is on.
Again, same argument. You can say Leprechaun 2 is by far technically the superior movie.
Is it? I think Leprechaun 2 is incredibly weak. The kills are horrible.
No, I'm saying technically.
Sure. I mean, as
film,
far as,
sound, it looks better. But I agree. Leprechaun 2 moves
I would watch
on.
Blood Beat 20 times.
I agree. I would love to watch Blood Beat many more times over Leprechaun 2.
Correct.
So I agree with you there. Leprechaun 2
Blood
moves
Beat
on.
is so awesome.
So crazy.
That was
awesome,
such a great gem.
Yeah.
To get. Yeah.
That's why I said. That's when I was during the holidays. I was so excited about our Christmas movies this year because we had Blood. We went from
Mercy
Blood
Christmas,
Freak in Christmas, then we had Mercy Christmas, and then we had Blood Beat. I was like, I love all like
the only thing that made that Christmas, it just happened to happen around Christmas time.
They say Merry Christmas once, and you see a Christmas tree. I think in one scene.
Hey, it
That's
qualifies.
it. Yeah, it qualifies.
That movie's fucking hits awesome.
All right, next we have the Mutilator against Ice. Again, this is I think an easy decision.
I don't know. This is tough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say Ice moves on.
Dude, Ice is fun. Ice is fun.
Yeah, but Mutilator's so good. Like the kills are great. It's so unique. It's bloody. It's great. It does have the Fall Break song. I mean, come on.
Going on a
fall break.
Dun, dun, dun.
Fall break.
Walking in the moonlight.
Walking hand in hand in the moonlight. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're right.
Ice to me is moving on.
Iced, but man, Ice is awesome.
It does have Wednesday Addams titties.
I know.
A lot of Wednesday Addams titties. And Bush and Vad. You get straight up like full on Wednesday Addams.
So weird.
Yeah. Next we have Mercy Christmas versus Happy Death Day. This is a tough one because both of them are good movies. They're both good again. If I had to pick one,
I didn't like Happy Death Day that much.
I'm agreeing. I'm gonna say
Mercy.
I agree with you, Mercy too. Happy Death Day I thought it was a lot better than I expected to be going into it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be stupid, but I was like, it's surprisingly good. Yes, it's PG-13, but I was like, which I hate PG-13 horror movies. But
Mercy's fucking good.
Mercy was just another one of those gems that came out of nowhere. And the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes of the movie is insane.
Are we saying Mercy's worse or Happy Death Day is
worse?
Oh,
I wrote it down wrong. Happy Death Day moves on.
Yeah, exactly. I did the same thing.
Yeah, I actually wrote it down wrong.
Happy Death Day is worse.
Yeah.
Mercy is better. Yes,
Mercy.
I agree. Okay.
Death Day moves on. And then last we have 420 Massacre versus The Black Room. Another interesting matchup here.
Oh, it's easy for me.
Which one?
420 moves on.
Really? The Black Room.
The Black Room is awesome.
It does have a guy humping a wall.
The Black Room is fucking awesome.
Man, which would I watch again? Yeah, 420 was. Yeah, I think I'm surprised. Yeah, I thought Black Room would move on, but I'm going to say 420 Massacre as well moves on. That was just a letdown of a movie. Black Room was just crazy. And Black Room is one of our listeners suggested movies too. I remember that. All right, so let's go back to our round of 16 now. Back at Hanfield, we have House of Horrors versus 13th Friday. Now this is where things start getting really tough and gritty. What do you got? House of Horrors or 13th Friday?
House of Horrors, again, refresh my memory. I'm like forgetting.
Haunted House in Buffalo, New York, giant rip guy.
Like, look how forgettable it is.
Yeah.
It's like.
Shows a grenade up a girl's vag or ass or something like that.
13.
13 still moves on for you. Man, I'm torn. 13th Friday, no. You know what? No. House of Horrors is bad, but the only thing I like about 13th Friday is I like the main girl. I think just because I liked her and I think she's attractive, but other than that, the movie is pure garbage.
So who's moving on for you?
13th Friday as well.
Good.
Next, we have Night of the Living Dead 3D for me versus Death House. I know this is where our brackets start differing, but I'm still saying, to me, Death House is still my pick to move on.
So it's Death House versus...
For me, it was Night of the Living Dead, but for you, it's Death House versus Final Exam.
Oh, yeah, it was. Final Exam versus Death House. Death House.
Yeah. Then we have Hell Week versus Minutes to Midnight, or for you, it's See No Evil.
So
I pick Hell Week to move on.
Wait, say it again? Because I'm looking at my bracket, I'm like confused here. Hell Week versus Avalanche Shark, right?
That was the first round, and you picked
Avalanche to move on.
Yeah, I picked Hell Week.
Oh, okay.
And this is where it is. I picked Hell Week, you picked Avalanche, and I picked Minutes to Midnight, you picked See No Evil.
I did, yes. This is where it gets confusing. Okay.
Yeah.
Avalanche Shark versus See No Evil. I'm going to say Avalanche moves on. Avalanche Shark moves on.
I picked Hell Week over Minutes to Midnight. All right, now again, we have Satan's Little Helper taking on Kissing Darkness. I think we both picked that one. So this is interesting. Kissing Darkness versus or Satan's Little Helper. Which one's worse? Because they're both bad.
Kissing Darkness.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I like Satan's Little Helper.
Yeah, you do. Oh man.
Did you really like Kissing Darkness?
No, but I don't like Satan's Little Helper either. Like they're both awful.
I liked it in comparison.
Fuck. Yeah, I will say there was, but Kissing Darkness has fucking the one guy with the quiche. You know, he's like, I gotta go wash my face. I need some quiche. Like, that was the best line. He made me laugh. I forget the guy's name, but
however,
I think I actually
what was it? Satan's Little Helper did have a guy who caused an entire like riot on a small island, and this dude runs up. He's wearing a mask. The other guy's wearing a mask. Comes up and for some reason goes, "What's up, my nigga?" Out of nowhere, and I'm assuming they're both white, and it blew my mind. Because I was like, that's offensive.
Yeah, okay.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah, he did have that going for him. I really thought I had the sound clip of, I'm pretty sure I had, I don't know what happened to it, of the quiche guy, wash my face, whatever.
Put it in post.
Yeah, if I could find it. Oh, right there. Favorite, nope, that's not it. Fuck it. Kissing Darkness moves on for me too, I guess. Yeah. There were some humorous moments in Satan's Little Helper that made me chuckle too. Just the guy in the mask giving thumbs up at random weird shit. All right, moving on back to Crystal Lake. We have Pledges versus Night of the Demon.
Pledges moves on for me.
I'm going to say Pledges as well.
Yeah, Night of the Demon is still solid.
Yeah. Next we have Breeders versus Dark Walker.
Oh, this one's kind of tough for me. Breeders, I mean, Breeders was unique. Breeders was weird.
Yeah,
Breeders
had so bad.
Breeders had bitches in a cum cauldron. I mean, come on.
The jizz koozie?
Yeah, the jizz koozie, the cum cauldron.
The sex cauldron, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was so, like...
But it was so bad.
But they had a girl do the coolest workout ever.
Which naked smoking doing.
She did a line of coke.
It works out.
And then just stripped her clothes off
and stretched.
And just stretched. And I remember listening to that episode and you go, I don't know what kind of workout she does, but I like it. Yeah. She has a line of coke and then takes off her clothes and stretches. And I'm like, yes. That was awesome. Darkwalker had nothing like that.
That's true.
I'm going to have to say Darkwalker moved
Really?
on.
Really?
Yes.
Man.
Darkwalker sucked.
It does suck, but but Breeders is so bad.
It's so bad, but it does have a
That's what we're like every woman it was like every woman in New York was a virgin.
It had a sex cauldron and girls doing blow. I'm sorry, that wins.
You know what? You convinced me. I'll Darkwalker moves on. Darkwalker has been surprisingly the dark horse. Like, that's moving on a lot further than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Next is Leprechaun 2 versus Iced.
Leprechaun 2 moves on.
Really?
Yeah.
But Iced is so bad. And the ending, the dude, come on, he leaps out with snowman.
It's fucking awesome.
It is epic, but it's a bad.
The bleeding eye. Goes, that was cool. Leprechaun was...
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go with I agree. You're making me... Yeah, Leprechaun 2 moves on. Because I'd rather watch Icy. As slow as it was, it's so bad, but I'd still rather watch that. And at least you get Wednesday Addams tits a lot.
Yeah, a lot of tits.
And then, okay, closing out this one, we have Happy Death Day versus 420 Massacre.
420 Massacre, in my opinion, moves on.
I agree.
I think Happy Death Day was more fun.
Yeah, I agree. I had more fun with Happy Death Day, too.
420 Massacre, to be perfectly honest, I mean, they contacted us and say, hey, watch it. We're like, okay, we'll watch it. That's cool. But at the end of the day, it was...
This was one that they contacted us, too. Yeah,
it was not a great horror movie, honestly.
Well, one thing we have that is that with a movie like 420 Massacre, we thought it would be more... Fun and loose and like, oh, you know, like Slumber Party Massacre, anything else than the Massacre, but they got real fucking serious.
Yeah, and you call it 420 Massacre, you expect to have some weed good times, some fun times.
Yeah, they had a stoner girl, but
you had none of that.
And then he got like real dark and serious at the end, like starting to like PTSD and like it was like and like no
fun.
Yeah,
no fun,
no moss. All right, so let's go back to Hanfield. We have the 13th Friday versus Death House. That's a very tough matchup.
It's super hard. You're probably gonna hate me. I'm saying 13th.
Really?
I'm saying 13 because Death House had decent effects.
They were the shittiest CGI effects ever. They were atrocious effects.
Better than 13th Friday?
13th Friday was mostly practical.
They had weird ghouls in a cave
but they were
crawling around.
But that's not effects. That's not effects.
That was awful. Hey, they had the jaw rip. Kane ripped some guy's jaw.
That's the only fake.
That's
the only good kill in the movie. Death House makes zero fucking sense. No, 13th Friday doesn't make much sense either.
No, they're both awful. They're both like winners.
You know what? Fuck it. It's your opinion. You're a moron, but it's your opinion.
Damn you.
I'm so sick with Death House. It's tough. 13th Friday is awful, but Death House to me, I was gonna say everything, but one reason why I'm picking Death House to be the worst is just because of the fact that it's the one movie that had the loftiest, most anticipated, highest expectations of any movie in horror in a long, long fucking time, and it came out to be as bad as I can't imagine any other movie that had such lofty expectations, anticipation, and to become that bad. The gap between the two to be so monumentally large.
Hey,
and I can't. That is to me the epitome of what makes a shitty movie. Is the letdown of what that movie could have been to what it was. Is why it's my pick to be the worst movie. 13th Friday is bad, but that was an indie movie that just maybe tried to bite off more than it shoot. We got confusing the writing, but there was the expectations going in weren't high.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but 13th had the worst acting, the worst special effects, the worst ending. It made me want to fucking bite my television.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Well, anyway,
Death House was bad, and it sucked too.
It did.
It's awful ending. All right, moving on. Hell Week for me, I think Avalanche, and then Kissing Darkness. So
yeah, I had Avalanche versus See No Evil.
Right, but I mean now it's you picked Avalanche Sharks to move on, right?
Yeah, between Hell Week and Avalanche, I picked Avalanche.
Yes, and then you picked Avalanche over See No Evil, right?
Correct.
So yeah, so you have Avalanche versus Kissing Darkness.
Yeah,
I have Hell Week versus Kissing Darkness. Question: do I want to watch a really bad movie, or do I want a bunch of gay dudes having sex?
Do I want to watch a bad movie or a gay movie?
Shit.
Moving on, I'm gonna have to say Avalanche Sharks.
Is worse than Kissing Darkness?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because Kissing Darkness is geared towards a particular audience.
It's true.
It's geared. It's obviously not for the mainstream.
Right.
It's geared towards a homosexual audience.
Yes.
So, you know what? It turns into basically a softcore gay movie, and you know what? That's basically what it was tried to be. It had a horror twist. We tried to do something fun for
Gay Pride. Yeah, it was Gay Pride
Gay
month.
Pride.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. I don't think we're ever gonna do that again.
I don't know, maybe, but who knows?
It left me feeling bizarre. A little uncomfortable. Maybe I need to explore some things. But at the end of the day, I for the audience it wanted to get to, I imagine it succeeded. Whereas Avalanche Sharks.
But I should have called my friend John and said, "Hey, John, watch this movie. Let me know what you think from a gay perspective. Does it succeed as a horror movie at all? Other than the gay butts and the sex, but if you look at it from just a horror movie standpoint, what are your thoughts on it as a gay man?" In retrospect, I should have done that, but
well, I mean, I'm secure enough in my own sexuality to say I think it was a little bit more entertaining than Avalanche Sharks. You know what? I'd rather watch Kissing Darkness than Avalanche Sharks, because I think Avalanche Sharks is so ridiculous and kind of dumb.
Yeah.
You know,
but for me, it's Hell Week for me, and I'm trying to think. Like, do that movie in the warehouse with like.
I'd rather watch Hell Week. This is me.
But it's so fucking long and awful. The acting is atrocious. It makes zero sense.
I thought Avalanche Sharks is horrible. That's all.
Yeah.
Personally.
But you make an argument about Kissing Darkness. It may have succeeded in its intended market. So I think I'm going to say, I'll take Hell Week for me. Moves on. All right. So now we go back to Crystal Lake. We have Pledges versus Dark Walker.
So I'm sorry. Say it again.
Pledges versus Dark Walker.
Pledges was fucking horrible. I'm saying Pledges. Pledges moving on. Dark Walker, you're safe.
Yeah. This is like the Crystal Lake side. We pretty much agreed on mostly. If I had to pick one to watch again, I would probably take Dark Walker because even though it sucks, at least it makes sense. Pledges was all over the place and we just didn't really do it. I don't get it. And then we have Leprechaun 2 versus 420 Massacre.
420 moves on.
Really?
Yep.
I'm saying for me, it's Leprechaun 2. I'd rather watch 420 than Leprechaun. All right, so then that's our final four. So final four we have for me is Death House taking on Hell Week. And I'm sticking to my guns. To me, I just over expectate Death House is moving on to the finals for me. What about you?
So I have Avalanche Shark versus the 13th Friday.
Yes. Where you going? I'm thinking 13th Friday for you.
13th Friday, yeah, that's moving on for me.
No, if 13th Friday was in the Crystal Lake side, I would probably have that in my finals. Because that movie was, I agree with you, it's one of the worst we've done.
It's horrible.
And then, so that brings us to Pledges for me versus Leprechaun 2. Pledges for you is
Pledges for me versus 420 Massacre. I'm saying Pledges moves on.
Man, this is tough because Leprechaun 2 fails to me in all aspects. It's not really a horror movie at this point. It's more of a shtick that kind of be funny. It's not, the kills suck. There aren't barely any kills. But Pledges is so bad and so nonsensical. Which one would I rather watch again? Fuck it. I hate to say it, but I think I would at least Leprechaun 2 is kind of fun in its stupidity. Like it's a little more lighthearted. I'm going Pledges, I guess. Pledges takes it from Haddonfield. I think Pledges got lucky with the bracketing for me on this one because if it would have been different brackets, I think it'd be differently. So my finals are Death House versus Pledges, and I'm sticking with my guns. Death House is my pick to win it all.
So my final is Pledges versus 13th Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm saying 13th Friday is going to be the worst. And it's funny because they were, we had Death House and 13th Friday early in my bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying 13th Friday is fucking the worst movie I think I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It's fucking terrible.
That's a bold statement considering stuff we've seen on the show.
It's...
All right, so there it is, guys.
We question whether or not I wanted to keep doing this podcast. I remember watching that movie and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
All right. This went a little longer than I thought it would, but we had a good discussion about it. There's our brackets, our breakdown, our picks. Remember, fill out your brackets if you want and send it in to us at sobatitscary@gmail.com if you want to partake in our and play along with us. But you have to make your picks now. You have to send them in. We'll start opening. Voting will start probably, what's today? Today's Sunday. I'll get these posted up. So probably start them on, next Monday? Or when do you want to start the voting? We gotta
not this Monday, but next Monday.
So that'd be like the 5th or something like that?
Well, you know what? I'll post them tomorrow.
Well, I'll get these posted, probably tomorrow, which would be Monday. And then we got to give people time to, if they want to do this, to get their... Yeah, the voting will start a week from this Monday. So 1 week from tomorrow for us, we'll start the voting will open then. So that gives you basically a week to get your brackets into us if you want to join us in that. All right, guys, this has been fun. I really enjoy these bracketology episodes. It's a little longer than I thought, but it was fun. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Just go and look for our Crips episode we just did. And in the meantime, we'll be back soon. But till then, watch more horror movies. And remember to always keep it tight.
Booyah.